It's Tina with TNT Crochet Hookers, where knit happens. It's been a while. I'm probably going to be one of those once a month, maybe twice a month type of people, but I am going to have a few videos coming out soon with more focus on certain things. This one is actually on my knitting more so than anything else, and I'll probably do another one that's more focused on crochet, just because I know some people are maybe not so into the knitting portion as they are into crochet, and vice versa. Knitting, I'm not so great at it. I'm just really, I've known how to knit for a while. I taught my daughters just basic knit. But this year I've really been trying to fine-tune so I could actually gear up to be doing socks and sweaters and Fair Isle, things that I've really always wanted to do. So if you remember, I made Barbara from Knitting I Love her Full of Minis hat. I loved it so much, and it is so squishy. Now that it's summer, I don't get to really wear it that much, but it inspired me to actually do the scrappy socks, which I actually have been sewing in the end slowly but surely. So these will definitely be ready for this fall, which I'm super excited about. But with that being said, it inspired me to want to go even further with it. So I started taking the YouTube classes from, I want to say it's the No Fear socks from Earth Tone Girl, and she's amazing. Absolutely love her. She really helped me to really understand it even further. So I did finish another pair of socks. Now, as you can tell, they look completely, well, they're the same but different. And it gets even better because they actually don't fit me. They're probably about one size too small, but that's fine because in my house, 3 daughters and me, only one of them wears the same size as me. So if it's too big or too small, I have someone here that's knit worthy, so they get it. So this is actually going to be one of my daughter's gifts for her birthday. She probably already guessed that's what she was getting, because when I sat there and said, this doesn't fit, and she ended up trying it on, and I was a little bit annoyed. But it fits her. I'm glad she's going to get use out of it. She said they were super comfy when she tried them on, so that's who gets them. I still have plenty of this yarn left, so I'm actually planning on doing another No Fear with the exact same colors, and hopefully this time they'll work and they'll fit. She gave lots of notes, lots of good information. Purl Together is another one that I've actually been watching how she knits socks, and of course Barbara from Knitting I Love. I've been watching her do her socks as well, and I'm hoping that between all these people I've been watching, I will finally get a pair of socks that flip and fits. Now, I bought in the beginning of January, fell in love with the whole concept from watching Amy from Stranded Dye Works and a couple other people who are, and they everyone was saying like, oh, you know, it'd be really nice to have like an advent of Christmas socks, and I was like, oh, I want to jump on that bandwagon, let me tell you. So I started the process, and I did purchase, well, I have a lot of advent calendars that I'm going to work through from this past Christmas, but I really fell in love with this yarn on Etsy, and it's from, I have it here, Crafty Mama's Designs. And it's designs with a Z. And this one's actually called Peppermint Bark. It is merino nylon 75/25, and I just love the colors, and it really does remind me of peppermint bark. So I did finish these socks. They are completely sewn in. Now the funny thing was, I was watching different videos on doing the afterthought hill. So you kind of notice one hill, okay, obviously this was the second one because I actually learned my lesson from the first one, but this one I decided not to do the extra rows, and I just started, you know, decreasing right away. Come to find out, I've got a pudgy hill, and I should have done these rows. so that it would fit. So they fit, but this one obviously is a little more snug. This one fits amazingly. It's just perfect. So what did I do? I took a bunch of notes. So I'm hoping that the next pair will actually fit very well. And I already have in mind a yarn that I'm going to start working for my next set of socks. And I am planning on going really sock crazy this year in the hopes of having a pair of socks every day of December, which would be kind of cool if I don't have to fight my daughter for it, because you know there's that one girl that actually wears the same size as me. Well, with that being said, I had a lot of extra yarn. Sorry, we've got a lot of interruptions today, and you know, that's life, that's what it is around here. I have 3 grown adult daughters, a grandson, a husband, and an insane dog. So my daughter just got home, and because of COVID-19 we're super careful. Many of us do work outside the house, so we've been extremely diligent on being safe and clean and, you know, proper disposable, you know, masks or gloves or whatever we have to work with. So my daughter came home, and my insane dog likes to bark at everyone and anything, so we figured we would stop the video. So that may happen off and on through the couple of videos that I'm going to be doing for this month, and I apologize in advance for that. Also, I will apologize for saying so way too many flipping times. But back to what I was saying. I loved the peppermint bark. I can't wait to get started on the next one, but I had actually quite a bit left. And I know that a lot of people will sit there and say, oh, you know, what to do with extra yarn. And Barbara just really made me explode with ideas. This Full of Minis hat, I loved doing it. I love doing the fold over, and I love the way it feels. It is super squishy. It's great. It's warm. It can get really breezy here in Virginia on the cold days, and I work in a warehouse, so, well, see, there goes that word again. And with that being said, because I work in a warehouse, when it is cold, it is all concrete, metal, it gets really, really cold. And I would prefer to be warm. I don't like being cold. That was one of the reasons why I really wanted to get into the knitting and the crochet again with the natural fibers, because they say they're breathable, they actually keep you warmer, and that's really what I need, especially as I get older and I get colder much, much easier. And I've always been that way already, so that's just a double whammy. Well, with that being said, I'm actually really excited about this. I liked doing these scrappy socks. They were so much fun, and I just really enjoyed the whole concept of it, so I'm going to take it up quite a few steps. I decided I'm going to do another hat. But if you've seen any of my videos, I'm someone who really likes to be matchy, 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 which is really probably very, you know, obsessive, but I can't help it, and I love it, so it's okay. And the only people who have to really deal with it is my family and my husband. But I've started the hat, and I figured, well, you know, if I have a hat, I might as well start the socks. So I have started the scrappy socks. So as I finish each pair of socks, whatever's left over, I'm going to throw it in my scrappy socks first. So it's going to go in the scrappy socks first, because obviously if it has a different color for the heel toe cuff contrast color, then I want to put that in here. And that's actually what I did here. I did the toe, the very tip was the chocolate in the peppermint bark, and then I started with the peppermint bark, and I did the toe for it because I really did like it a lot. Then I did the hat, and then I was thinking, wow, you know what would be really great with that is full of minis, but not really minis because it's just my scraps, cowl. So I know it looks a bit of a mess. I haven't done the fold over yet, and I'll explain why. So obviously with the fold over, it will look amazing. It's going to be big, it's going to be thick, and I'm really looking forward to that. But then, you know, if I have something for my tootsies, for my hat, for my head, for my neck, I've got to have something for my hands. So I don't know if this is going to work. And again, this is all a spin-off from Barbara's Full of Minis. I just love this fold over technique. I'm going to actually try to somehow figure out how to do fingerless gloves. Because seriously, if I had to do fingers and do this, it probably would never happen. But I don't know if it'll just be the cuff that has the fold over. It'll kind of look like this. And I was thinking of doing top down, but because this is such a light color and I didn't want to get it dirty or anything like that, and it was one of my favorite ones so far. I'm sure I'll have lots of favorites, but this is how it's going to look. So it'll go from here up with the fold. I'm not sure how I'm going to work the thumb. The thumb will probably just be really small and it'll probably just honestly be one color, but who knows. I'll get a wild hair and maybe I'll even do the thumb with the little ripples. But either way, I'm really liking it. And with that being said, you've seen all the things I've done. I still have quite a bit. With that, I've been hearing about the cozy blankets and the little squares that you can do. So I've started a square. And then I heard from Little Drops of Wonderful, Allie from Little Drops of Wonderful. She found one that's a crochet one for a cozy blanket. So I'm going to do that too. So I'm going to have one that's knit, one that's crochet, and all this other stuff, and then whatever's, and that's why I haven't finished this fold yet, because I'm going to wait until I get the knit and the crochet one done, and I'm going to keep knitting until I know that I will have used every last bit of this. So the next time I see you, hopefully, I will have had maybe another pair of socks and be able to add on to this collection of my little goodies. And as you can tell, and if you want to know the type of needles, they're all Hiya, just different styles. So these are 2mm, and it's on obviously the 9-inch. I know some people I've heard on watching YouTube channels that they're like, they can't stand using the 9-inch circulars, but I've got to tell you, when I first tried them, I thought they were insane. I couldn't understand the fingering and how to actually, like, it just seemed cramping. But I want to say it was from Knitting Vicariously. She actually was saying just relax and do it, and so I started doing that. I just calmed down and I just didn't try to do it super tight. And then Barbara from Knitting I loved, Caroline, I think it's Caroline from, I don't know, we'll have to double check that. I'm going to have everything in the notes. So a lot of the people that I reference and watch, that's where I get these ideas from. But this one's 2mm. These are 2.25. This one is 2.25, and these are actually on double pointed 4-inch. And then this one here, I want to say, is 2.5, and then this one here is on a 3. So I'm using all different sizes. I figured this will give me a lot of help, a lot of experience, a lot of practice in doing this. And hopefully at some point I'll get brave enough to finish the sweater I started that I had the wrong stitch count for. Literally when I was counting the stitches, because I was supposed to start the arms, I was 3 sizes too small. And I was like, there's a lot of different people in my house, but they are not that small. No. So I had to go back through, try to fix it, and I got very frustrated with it, put it off to the side for a little while, just so that I don't rip it into tiny little shreds. But I'm feeling more comfortable, and more it keeps popping up into my head, so I have a feeling pretty soon I'm going to be feeling confident enough again to actually work on that. With that being said, that is what we're doing. Oh, there is one other knitting thing that I started that I've been working on. And actually, hold on one, oh, I don't know, oh, there it is. My husband's socks. So, again, there goes that word. This is going to be a horrible video. I'm just, no makeup, no nothing. It's, yeah, let me tell you, it's pandemic season. This turned out really great. It fits him wonderfully. This one I'm actually doing from Purl Together. And she really, I love the fact that she was saying to put the reinforced heel actually at the bottom of the heel. And that's what I did. Then then with, I guess it is No Fear socks, I decided to do counting the stitches. So I counted the stitches and they were the same exact rows, number of rows from the top to the bottom. The one thing I didn't take into consideration was that I had actually been knitting quite a bit of things and I'm no longer as loose and uneven gauge. So this one is way looser compared to this one, which is actually a lot nice, neater stitch definition. I'm doing much better. I've gotten much more practice in, but with that being said, I wish I'd not been so good at this one because this one's too small now. So I'm still having that issue with I can't flip and get two that are the same size and exactly the same. It's killing me. So with that, I'm actually going to do it tandem. I've got to do them at the same time because if I do a sock and then go back and do another one, I don't get the gauge right. Because I honestly feel like it's emotional, it's fatigue, it's whatever's going on in my life at the time. I'm either a extremely loose knitter or extremely tight knitter. And I will never end up with two socks the same if I do not do them at the exact same time. So that's what I've learned out of this whole process, and I'm okay with that. I have figured out how I'm going to get it to where it'll fit my husband's foot. We've been trying it on a lot, and I just had to make the heel a lot longer. And I actually think that'll be better for the bridge because where your heel is, and actually I can probably use this bridge, he has a very high bridge, and I think by making this actually longer, that'll actually be more beneficial for him. So he'll probably end up with one sock again that fits him really, really great, and the other one's maybe not so great. But, and I told him, I said, you're probably never going to wear these, and he reassures me he will, so he better have them on at least once a week, because I'll be checking. Alright, with all that, that's what's going on with knitting. Stay tuned for the next video, which will probably be later on this evening, that will be focusing more on crochet, because I have been doing a lot of crochet as well. Does anyone else end up with like stray yarn everywhere? Because I do, all over my house. So this is what I'm going to be focusing on is a lot of the crochet that I've been doing, and believe it or not, I've got easily 5 or 6 projects for that. Alright, so stay tuned. Hope to see you later. Bye-bye.